The bookcases Wava burned. On the highway, Wava kept her pace and her temper at 20 feet behind. To the right, a pileated woodpecker knocked its head against a tree, rapping like a determined visitor. When she looked at Kyle again, he'd stuck his thumb out for a ride. What next, she wondered. Have you heard a thing I've told you? She asked. Hitchhiking is stupid. You don't know what's out there. He was jogging backwards, joyfully wagging his thumb in the air. Wava's heart thickened. She looked over her shoulder in the distance. She saw a car, a glint off the windshield like a proverbial light at the end of the tunnel. Kyle was running to leave her behind, and a car was coming on, nearing, then passing and slowing to a stop 50 yards ahead. The passenger door swung open. Kyle loped up to the car and leaned down to see who was driving. He glanced back at her and got in. The door slammed. Wava ran. She ran wishing for better shoes. She thought to get the license number, but all she could see was the sunlight, a freeze on the bumper, 2 blurs on the front seat. She wanted more than anything to see Kyle's face one last time, while it was still hers to look at. She was within 20 feet when the gears engaged and the car started pulling away. She could see the driver check for traffic. "Wait!" she yelled, and the taillights flickered. "I'm coming!" The exhaust fumed, but the car waited on the side of the road. The Mission Mountains veered off as they drove down the highway. She in the back, swathed in dog hair. Golden retriever, she thought. Kyle up front, his head rigidly forward, and Jessup Taylor driving. Sup, he called himself, with liver-spotted hands and a face of indeterminate age. Glancing in the rearview mirror, he smiled. "Where are you two going?" "We're not together," Kyle answered. "As far as you'll take me," he added. "Seeley Lake," Sup said. "Once a week, need it or not. I go up to Seeley Lake for a little excitement. Of course, given my age and the nature of the place, it's an exercise in futility. But I try. And you, ma'am?" "Wherever you take my son." "I thought you were together." Kyle flinched. His neck looked delicate from behind, white beneath the short, cropped black hair. She'd never seen anything so vulnerable. "He's running away. From me," she said. "Well, he's not doing a very good job of it," Sup said, downshifting into a turn. Sup's head bobbed into each turn, his passengers ignored, as if it were normal to find himself transporting both the runaway and the run from in his car. They drove in quiet, the road paralleling the forest and the link of lakes. Summit, Alva, Inez, bright glimpses in the foliage, unfolding like a drunken stagger, 1 mile forward, 2 back on itself in a series of horseshoe curves. They passed a stand of tamarack, a fallen magpie. Wava cranked her window open. The dog hair drifted and fell. "Your dog got any hair left?" Wava asked. "Sorry," Sup said. "He's lost more than I ever owned." He rolled his window down and the hair wheeled in the air and drafted out. "But he's a good dog. Stays put where I tell him." "Where is it you plan to run to? You got someplace to go?" Minnesota, Wava thought. That's where they all go eventually. Minnesota. Oh, or California. Kyle leaned forward, his hands fidgeting with the seatbelt. "Idaho," he said. "Idaho!" Sap slapped the steering wheel. "Now that's a change for the better." He grinned. "And how you going to live?" "I'll get a job." "You don't look a day over 16. Minimum wage and a handful of hours." And from the back seat, Wava could see that Kyle blushed with pleasure at being thought older than he was, even if only for a year. "You got money?" Sup asked. "Yes, sir. $73, Kyle said, as if it were all the money in the world. 1 year's savings, chopping and stacking wood. "Well, you're an accommodating boy. $73, sir," he says. "Look, why don't you just hand it over and save yourself a knock on the head, huh? You got to consider who you're going to meet out there. Well, you're thrifty. I'll say that for you. You're not real smart." On the outskirts of town, Sup asked, "Can you tell me why you're leaving?" "She thinks she owns me." "Well, she does, boy. Heart and soul.